What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. Now if you were like me, then you probably assumed that in Avengers 4, time travel is going to play a major factor. I mean, we've got all these set photos leaking and well, they do kind of suggest that there's some sort of time travel happening, right? Well, after doing some research and collecting some evidence, I want to propose a different theory. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how we've been misled this entire time, thinking that time travel is going to be the major key in Avengers 4. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you why Thanos and Tony Stark have been connected this entire time right in front of our faces, and we've completely missed it. Then I'm going to also tell you why AntMan is going to play a very critical role moving forward, and I'm going to give you what I believe is the real solution in defeating Thanos for Avengers 4. Stay tuned. Okay, just because I do feel pretty strongly about what I'm about to present to you, I'm going to hit you all with a spoiler alert. This is just a theory, but you never know if these can mess around and become true. Also, if you happen to see this very unique theory posted anywhere else, you let them know that you heard it from E-Man's Movie Reviews first. All right, let's get started. There's a lot to cover here, so let me just begin by recapping my previous theory. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to do so. In my theory, I proposed that in Avengers Infinity War, Thanos did not send all those people who were dusted into the Soul Stone or some other reality. Instead, I proposed that Thanos used the Reality Stone, now fully charged with the power of all the Infinity Stones combined, and changed all reality on a universal scale. He did not create some alternate universe. He did not create a different reality. He changed the reality. For my fellow comic book fans out there, think about Scarlet Witch in the House of M storyline when she said, "No more mutants." With her power, she was able to change reality into a world that she wanted with no mutants. In a similar way, my Thanos reality theory suggests that Thanos did the same thing with the Infinity Stones, except he converted half of the population of the universe into dust. Now keep in mind, I came up with this theory months ago after the movie hit theaters. Now that I have access to the Infinity War film, we can see a bit more evidence to support this theory as possibly being the case. Right after Thanos acquired the Reality Stone, Thanos said that he now has the power to make reality whatever he wants. We've seen the Reality Stone alter people physically from one form of matter to another. If Thanos can turn a gun into bubbles because of the Reality Stone, then why wouldn't he be able to turn living creatures into dust? Okay, so let's continue with the assumption that Thanos changed all reality on a universal scale. That means we're all essentially living in a reality that just so happens to also be Thanos' dream. Got it? Cool. Keep all that in mind. Let's close this chapter of the theory and jump right into Avengers 4. Now, I don't want to keep you guys in any type of false state of suspense, so I'm just going to come right out and tell you what my theory is. I do not believe that the Avengers are going to use time travel to defeat Thanos. If it is indeed true that Thanos altered all of reality, then I believe that the Avengers will undo that reality by using Tony Stark's technology and the Reality Stone. Crazy, right? Okay, follow me down this crazy rabbit hole as I break this down and explain it. And at the end of the video, you all can let me know if, this is believable or not. Let's have some fun and let's go with just 50% believable. All right, let's get started. After some set photos were leaked that looked like they were of the Avengers visiting the past, a lot of people started to buy into the theory that time travel was going to be a major factor in Avengers 4. Well, the Russo brothers were asked about this theory and the set photos, and here's what they had to say. It's interesting because yes, there are photos that always leak, and then there's lots of conjecture about what those photos mean. Certainly, there's a 5-minute sequence in Civil War around a piece of technology that was laid in for a very specific reason. So if you go back and look at that film, you may get a hint as to a direction. What's interesting about their response is that they don't confirm nor deny that time travel will be in Avengers 4. Instead, they go on to mention a moment in Civil War with a piece of technology that was done for a very specific reason. Well, I think I figured out that reason. But before I go into that specific reason, let's start with the piece of technology in question. I think it's safe to assume that the tech they're speaking of was Tony's barf technology. So I went back and watched Civil War to analyze that scene, and my mind was blown. Here's where the first misunderstanding happens for some people, including myself. When we see that scene of young Tony Stark and his parents, I think a lot of people assume that because it was a scene from a past event, it may be a clue for time travel in Avengers 4. But not so fast. Tony's barf technology taps into a person's mind, and more specifically, their past memories. Then the technology projects a simulation based on that memory. The crazy thing, though, is that the memory does not have to be exact. When you listen to the real Tony Stark's first words in that scene, he says, "That's how I wished it happened." Meaning everything we saw from Barf did not actually happen and was more of how he dreamed that memory could have happened. Now, if that's not ringing any alarms for you, let me spell this out. Tony's tech is flirting with the possibility of creating a person's reality based on their thoughts. You know, kind of like how Thanos does that with the reality stone. Remember what the Russo Brothers said about having a very specific reason for laying out the tech in Civil War? I believe that specific reason was to draw a direct parallel between Tony and Thanos. The Russo Brothers have been setting us up since Civil War to show us that Tony and Thanos share a lot in common. Both of them are visionaries. Both of them are dreamers. The only difference is that Thanos has the actual ability, via the Infinity Gauntlet, to make his vision a reality, literally. Now I want to bring to your attention a very interesting connection and parallel here that Marvel has already set up with Tony Stark. We've always known that Tony Stark is a tech genius, and a lot of his inventions are close to being similar to that of alien or even futuristic technology. We also know that when Tony has the chance to work with some different future technology, he can then take his own technology to a new level. Let's look at Jarvis, for example. Jarvis is an incredibly sophisticated AI. If you recall in Age of Ultron, we got a chance to see the wide gap between Jarvis and the Mind Stone. However, after tinkering around with the Mind Stone and some divine intervention, vision was created. Well, I believe that we will have a similar situation develop in Avengers 4. Tony's barf technology can be taken to a new level with the reality stone. If Tony gets his hands on that stone, then the Avengers may be able to use Tony's technology to undo the reality that Thanos has already changed. Think about it though. Jarvis plus the Mind Stone equals vision. Well, barf plus the reality stone is going to equal whatever the Avengers' secret weapon will be to fight Thanos. So how will Tony get his hands on the reality stone in Avengers 4? I think the easy answer to that will be AntMan. In one of my other videos, I proposed the idea that AntMan was going to escape the quantum realm by jumping into the time vortex. I later said that Scott Lang was going to meet up with Tony Stark in the future. Now, I will admit, when I was thinking about AntMan's role for Avengers 4 in this theory, I kind of hit a roadblock. I was thinking, besides having AntMan help Tony get the Avenger gang back together again, what real use will he be? Then it hit me. Every time AntMan is used in a Marvel movie, he's always stealing some stuff or doing some big heist. I mean, that's one of Scott Lang's greatest talents. So if Avengers 4 will have Scott Lang in the mix, then I think they'll have to use him to pull one of the greatest heists ever, to steal the reality stone from Thanos. Now, I don't think AntMan is going to be able to steal the entire Infinity Gauntlet because that would make things way too easy and an incredibly short movie. But I do think it's a lot more feasible for Scott to just steal away the reality stone from Thanos. Now, we have seen from various set photos that Tony and the other Avengers are not only wearing some new technology, but they're also in a bunch of moments from the past. So if Barf's technology could tap into people's memories of the past, and if that were in some way enhanced by the reality stone, then it's totally possible that all those scenes that we saw in the past were not due to time travel. Instead, they'd be all created realities based on the memories of the original Avengers. Maybe wearing Tony's tech is what allows the team to share in the new reality and literally change the course of events using the power of the reality stone in some way. I think this could be kind of interesting because I've always said time travel can be incredibly messy in movies. You've got the problem of alternate timelines or time paradoxes, and all that can be really confusing. Depending on how the Russo brothers want to shoot this, it may be easier if they just go with this reality route in order to change reality back to normal at critical places. I think for Marvel, that would also help maintain the integrity of the deaths that happen in Infinity War, because the deaths can stay real until reality is forcibly changed back. Also, if you've listened to the Russo brothers interview and commentary on the Blu-ray, then one thing about them is abundantly clear. They are extremely committed to subverting our expectations. So to me, one thing that really led me to double down on my reality theory is that it would appear the majority of the internet is flooded with the idea that time travel is going to be the big fix. Well, if I were the Russo brothers, I'd look at that and think to myself, thank you, internet, for telling us what you expect. Now, during our reshoots, we can change up things and shock you all. You know, this idea of substituting reality altering with time travel does fit for other things too. Like, take my past theory where I suggested in Avengers 4, they're gonna drop Captain America in the past so he can go have that last dance with Peggy. Well, if this reality theory is true, then there's no need to send Captain America back to the past. Depending on how powerful Tony's souped up barf technology can be, maybe they use Captain America's memories and create a reality for him where he does have that last dance with Peggy. Maybe even a little bit more. Who knows? Heck, I'll throw one last thing out there for you all. I personally believe we've already seen the Avengers 4 trailer and didn't even realize it, but I think I'll save that for another video. Anyway, I don't know anything. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you all, and as always, all of this stuff can be completely wrong. Either way, I really want to hear what you all think about this theory. Do you think that the Russo brothers have been pulling our chains this whole time and time travel is just a huge misdirect? Could it really be that Thanos changed all reality? Will Tony's technology help the Avengers with the help of the reality stone to fix things? Well, you guys know how this works. This is the time when you go hit those comments and we talk about this. Thank you very much for joining me. I always appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.